Hi everyone, welcome to SynyegaTV with me, Rich Gibbons.
And me, Stephen Old.
And today we are investigating and answering the question, what is GreenOps? A term you may have heard, you may not have done, but either way, we're going to tell you all about it. So, over to you, Steve.
Yeah. Well, we're going to focus on Cloud GreenOps because I think GreenOps as a term, although it's kind of focused on cloud certainly in our circles, we think about it. Actually, it could mean anything, right? It could just mean anything to do with green operations, etc. But we're going to kind of maybe green DevOps kind of concept idea, like with FinOps. GreenOps or Cloud GreenOps is where it's a practice, and there's no kind of centralized framework. We're building one, for ourselves and for our customers, which is around how you conceptualize and use sustainability as a lens and a perspective for your cloud usage. So it's about making decisions around reducing CO2e, which is CO2 equivalent. So there's like greenhouse gases that came out of the Tokyo Accord, where we list what kind of gets attributed and like the percentage. So we use this nice number called CO2e as a way of kind of calculating emissions in general. So that's one of the first things to know. So what we are doing in Cloud GreenOps is we are taking a look at our cloud usage and trying to understand what sustainability slash environmental impact that is having on generally CO2e, but also water to an extent, which we can talk about another time, and trying to help our organization make better decisions to reduce our carbon footprint, our cloud carbon footprint, which, as we described on another video, is now larger than cloud slash IT slash AI is now creating a larger amount of CO2e than commercial flights. So it's a big problem. It's growing. It's something that people aren't really thinking about. AI is certainly a problem with this. I use a huge amount of electricity, a huge amount of cooling to power it and keep it going. And people just using it willy nilly without really thinking about it. Well, that has a lot of carbon impact and a lot of carbon emissions resulting from it. So it's trying to help people understand the implications of their actions and how that can cause CO2e. So we use that as a metric, and we help people benchmark where they are, what they're doing, how changes over time are impacting that. And then the balancing act between price, performance, and carbon. Sometimes it is more expensive to do the greener thing, right? Not in the same way it is for, like, people talk about at the macro level, that to go carbon neutral or sorry, net zero is hugely expensive. Often when we talk about usage optimization, certainly in our own data centers, but hopefully in the cloud vendors as well, because we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes there. But when we reduce our usage, it reduces the amount of CO2e that's being done there. So people talk about cost and carbon being synonymous, or one being a good proxy for the other. We won't go into that because there are definitely some problems with that concept. But if you reduce the amount you're using, hopefully you're reducing your CO2e. You're certainly reducing the amount that you are responsible for. We've just got to hope that behind the scenes, the cloud vendors are switching stuff off when you are, physically. So we're switching off things virtually. We can't understand the physical aspect of that, and that's one of the problems in GreenOps. But what we're trying to do, and what we're helping our customers do, is reduce our own carbon footprint that we're responsible for our, cloud usage.
Cool. So, I guess in terms of terminology, some people talk about green ops, some people talk about sustainability,
Yeah,
some people
cloud
talk about
sustainability. Yeah.
ESG. Are they
Hmm.
all the same thing? Are they all kind of, if we drew a Venn diagram, would it just be lots of overlapping circles?
I think that's a great question, and I don't think that's fully defined either. I think while FinOps has really worked on being more defined, GreenOps isn't yet. So is it green ops? Is it cloud green ops? Are they two different things? Hard to know. Cloud sustainability and cloud green ops, hopefully pretty much like for like. Cloud sustainability is the terminology used by the FinOps Foundation. They don't want to own green ops. That's one of the important things. They want to focus on helping practitioners develop in the FinOps world. They want to support green ops, etc., but they don't want to own it. So they're kind of keeping separate from that. They're just focusing on what a FinOps practitioner needs to understand about cloud sustainability, because that's their terminology. They're relatively similar. I think you could argue that within green ops, you've probably got green software development processes. I think that's an important piece, which you don't always look at in the FinOps world, but maybe you should, around modernization. And then green ops arguably could cover a lot more that comes out of the the ESG stuff, sustainability in general. At the moment, it's not maybe used for your people don't talk, they talk about sustainability for your manufacturing stuff and not green ops. Whether that will change in time, we just don't know. That's why we're trying to use the term cloud green ops forever. So the framework we're building, we try to always say cloud green ops, but you kind of just get used to it. You drop the cloud and that side of things. So I think it's such an immature practice in terms of how it's spoken about in public that we will see where that falls. In the same way that people say FinOps stands for financial operations, sometimes it's how the masses take it that ends up being what's written. History is written by the victors, as it were.
Absolutely. And yeah, because there's a whole section of hardware asset management when it comes to on-premises, laptops, mobiles, etc.
Yeah, every mobile has a carbon impact. Every laptop, every server, every switch.
Yeah. There's a lot around the life cycle of hardware. So I guess for some people, it's whether that counts as green ops or sustainability. But I think while we're here to say what green ops is, I think we've also kind of to some degree said what it isn't, and also what it could be.
Yeah.
Because it's immature, when we watch this video back in 6 months, 12 months, we may well think, actually,
what were we on about? Yeah, absolutely.
But hopefully that's been a good primer for everyone as to what green ops is and why you should start thinking about it. So as always, thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching.